You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here on KTSM Plus, your new digital newscast. I'm Monica Cortez. Now we're going to begin this newscast with the funeral services and a procession for fallen Doña County Sheriff's Office Deputy Antonio Aleman. They were held earlier today, and it's a story we've been following closely here on KTSM.com. Aleman died in the line of duty July 8th following a crash on Interstate 10 in Las Cruces. A police-led procession from Funeraria de Angel Hillcrest West Funeral Home took place this morning, and it was followed by a funeral mass at the St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church. That's following the church service. Aleman was then escorted by DACSO and other local law enforcement to his final resting place at Memorial Pines Cemetery. Of course, our hearts are with his friends and family. Turning over to the latest on the Fort Bliss soldier who is accused of killing his estranged wife back in 2020. So yesterday he was back in El Paso courtroom, and as we've been telling you, Linwood James Smith is charged with the homicide of 21-year-old Kerika Robinson. Yesterday, several witnesses were called to the stand to testify, including a retired El Paso police officer who was one of the first to identify and photograph the body of Kerika Robertson. Over 150 photos showed Smith and Robertson's apartment were submitted into evidence. Robinson had been missing for a week before police found her body. An autopsy revealed that the manner of death was homicide caused by a single gunshot wound to the head. Smith's legal team argues it was all done in self-defense and a result of a domestic argument. Now, of course, the trial resumes today, and the jury has been advised that proceedings could run well into next week. And the new school year is right around the corner, and a parent-led education advocacy group in South Central El Paso is raising concerns about how packed schools could be. This with the recent reopening of Salazar housing. Parents with Familias Unidas, a parent-led education advocacy group, say up to 800 children could be moving into the area. And after the permanent closure of Zavala Elementary, the group is concerned that schools like Douglas Guillen and Bowie may not be equipped to meet that demand. To read more on all of our top stories, just simply head on over to KTSM.com. All right, let's go ahead and take you outside. Now we're going to talk a little bit about weather. So this is what it looks like. There we go. Okay. So I do not have photographic memory like you, Robert, but I do know this looks a little different than what we saw yesterday. And so our team is panning, and look how we go from blue to just dark gray skies. I love it. Yes. Robert, does that mean rain is on its way?
It does indeed. In fact, heavy rain is moving into the county as we speak. Now, this is a very different day than yesterday and before.
Okay.
A brief heavy rainfall that could flood streets is certainly
here in
possible.
El Paso?
Yeah,
okay.
In El Paso, up in Las Cruces later tonight. Take a look at the current conditions at the International Airport. It is 96 degrees right now. Winds are calm. That dew point has really jumped up. 52 is the dew point right now. And thunder showers in the area. Of course, our monsoonal moisture has returned to the borderland. It's basically aligned with the Rio Grande. So the cloud cover early this morning was so pleasant, but it kept the temperature suppressed for a while today. Now we've heated up to the mid-90s, and here come the thunder showers. If we look closely, here's a perfect example. Now, not everybody is going to get rain tonight, but you could get storms that will unlock quite a bit of heavy rainfall, as we are seeing right along the border just to the south and west of Fabens right now. Now, here's a quick look at tomorrow. This similar moisture pattern follows us into Friday, so expect another round of scattered thunder showers with the potential for brief heavy rainfall. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
We're going to look for strategies that we can pass laws on that will make preparation for these types of events better.
That was Governor Greg Abbott holding a press conference on the continued response to the severe flooding earlier this month that impacted communities across the state. Now, statewide, 135 lives were lost, 116 of those were in Kerrville area, and 1 life was lost in Tom Green County. Now, the governor is calling it the largest flood in the history of Texas. However, he reassured the public that there is a continued effort for recovery statewide. All right, let's go ahead and take you outside now. We want to talk a little bit about traffic because this is what we are seeing. I-10 Yarborough here in East El Paso. Not too bad at this hour. Remember, it's about 4:06 as of the time of this show, and we're looking at smooth traffic. The later it gets, the more congested it'll be, but East El Pasoans, you're looking pretty good. I-10 in Trevino, big 2 thumbs up. You know, speaking of the roads, there are several road closures happening this week that could affect your commute. According to TxDOT, as part of the I-10 Widening West project, right? We've been dealing with it for a while now. From now through Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., there will be alternate lane closures on North and South Desert between Anthony and Red Road. There will also be alternate lane closures at Red Road, both east and westbound lanes at the North and South Desert intersection. Crews will be working on electrical construction work. And finally, tonight, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., I-10 East will be closed at the Vinton exit. The entrance ramp will also be closed, and the I-10 East Los Mochis entrance ramp will also be closed. Crews will be removing the portable concrete traffic barrier. So just heads up on that. Now, as we are talking about roads, cars, gas prices, it looks like it has dropped by a few cents across the state. In fact, according to AAA, drivers are enjoying the lowest July prices in 4 years. According to AAA, the statewide average for a gallon of regular gas is at about $2.78. That's 3 cents less than last week. And right here in El Paso, of course, always, we're paying a little bit more at $2.80. That's about 13 cents less than this time last month. However, according to AAA, that could all change soon due to tropical activity that could drive those prices up. All right, well, we're getting a closer look at the newly finished Arroyo 1 project in West El Paso. We actually got a tour of the new stormwater utility system improvements. And according to El Paso Water, the utility that owns this facility, past rain events have actually overwhelmed previous infrastructure, leading to severe flooding and damage to surrounding roads. Arroyo 1 helps alleviate that problem, and the new and improved facility is located at Franklin Street and Bear Ridge Drive in West El Paso. Over to some national news now. More border news from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem at the Hill Nation Summit. In today's Political Minute, News Nation's Blake Berman breaks it all down for us.
Investing border funds in tech. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill allots another $46 billion for the border wall. At this week's Hill Nation Summit, I asked the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem how she plans to spend the money. She pointed to new investments in technology.
My goal every day is not just to go out and put more officers and more CBP guys on the border. We should be, using the latest technology to fight off cartels and threats that we have, but also put in a situation where we protect more of our officers. If we can put in surveillance equipment and cameras that make sure we don't need as many agents down there all the time, we can use our human resources better and keep them more safe. That should be our goal.
There were just north of 6,000 encounters at the southern border in June, a substantial decrease from years past. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Blake, thank you. Well, it's almost time to head back to school, and Idea Public School is making it easier for students to get all the supplies they need. We're going to tell you about 2 backpack giveaway events they're hosting this month. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 News First.
Out more about the Sunset Amphitheater, memberships, and investing in a fire suite at Sunset, Texas.
Welcome back, everyone. For today's In the Comments section, a 42-year-old woman was arrested after she failed to appear at a court hearing and then disregarded the court's child support orders. Yep, this is all according to the El Paso County Constable's Office for Precinct 3. Angela Marie Corral was arrested yesterday on an active warrant for criminal non-support with a $10,000 bond. So we actually shared this story on our social media accounts, and a lot of you guys had a lot of thoughts to share. Let's get into it. Joe Coronado wrote, there should be some type of app where people can report individuals for failure to pay child support. This is another system that is broken, and many individuals get away without paying for their responsibilities. Robin Pilkington, I hope I said that right, says, about time. This happens to guys all the time. Finally, Jessica Janeth Payne wrote, ever since I was a teen, it tripped me out when women had to pay child support. I guess it still does. Like, what do you mean you don't care for your kids? So we actually got a statement from Constable Hector Bernal, who said that these types of warrants are often overlooked by law enforcement agencies, but he is reminding the community that deputies will be vigilantly executing these types of warrants, looking for offenders regardless of their gender. That was a very interesting one, guys, and a lot of you guys have a lot to say. Just head on over to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages to read everyone else's thoughts, and we truly do value your opinion, and we want to hear from you. So make sure you are following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Well, a couple of extremely rare items were sold at an auction recently in New York City. Up next, we take a look at a real piece of Mars and a dinosaur fossil. Interesting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
(122) South Old Pueblo Road in El Paso, Texas.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, Mr. Roberts, we've been getting a lot of questions. Those clouds look very thick in our area.
Yes.
Are we going to get to see any rain today?
You can feel it.
You kind of can,
You
right?
can. You can.
Yes.
I could feel it last night. Walking out, I was nervous last night.
No way.
I kept the slightest chance of an isolated storm in last evening, knowing that we would be charged up and ready to go today.
Huh,
so,
interesting.
Drive in monsoon mode. Hint, hint,
Okay.
Don't drive into flooded roadways, please.
I love that.
All right, let's take a look outside right now. There's our live camera. Man, that looks good. Come over to my house, please. That's off our station's roof camera in the west side of El Paso. That's aimed at Mount Cristo Rey over there. And thunder showers appear likely. 92 is the temperature in Las Cruces. It may take a while to get up to you, Las Cruces, but you also have a chance of thunder showers with brief heavy rainfall tonight. Your dew point 47 right now. Ours has increased into the 50s, so you can feel the humidity. The atmosphere is juicy and ready to go. 99 was the high today in Juarez, 97 for us so far, 93 Las Cruces, 93 Alamogordo. Hot enough to do the trick to get the air mass thunder showers cooking. And you can see widely scattered showers and thunder showers, that perfect alignment of the monsoonal moisture right over the Rio Grande. And we've already had numerous flood advisories, even some severe storms out over Hudspeth County earlier today. We'll draw your attention down to the Mission Valley down there, where you can see that one isolated cell that cropped up just to the south of Fabens. And this one, though it is over the border east side of Juarez, is exploding with heavy rainfall. This is going to be the order of business through the afternoon and evening tonight. We could get a thunder shower that crops up, and with little to no warning, boom, you've got heavy rain coming down and flooding streets. So exercise exceptional caution. We've got a flood advisory up in Ruidoso. They had another afternoon with even some swift water rescues, according to the National Weather Service up there, with the flood water that came down earlier today. Here's your 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. Widely scattered thunder showers. Late day, we'll get just enough sunshine to make it very humid feeling and muggy. 96 will be a temperature at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Here's your allergy forecast. 9s across the board. That's in the high range. No surprise there. And here are the lows tonight. 68 Alamogordo, 68 Deming, 75 Juarez, 72 for Van Horn. High temperatures tomorrow. 93 Alamogordo, 96 Deming, and 97 for Juarez. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, 70 degrees, your low temperature. A great chance of scattered thunder showers that will produce that brief, locally heavy rainfall. High temperature tomorrow, 95 degrees, very muggy in the afternoon, and once again we'll hit those late day showers and thunder showers. 75 low tonight at the international airports. The storms that do crop up have that tendency to really unlock quite a bit of rainfall, so be very careful. 97 the high temperature for tomorrow with widely scattered thunder showers. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. We can expect Saturday to be completely opposite from Thursday and Friday. A big ridge of high pressure is building up. Will be 100 degrees that day, and I think pretty much storm free. 102 on Sunday, the hottest day. We'll put in the slightest chance of a late evening thunderstorm, but it's a slight chance. Then that moisture realigns, and we get the threat of brief heavy rainfall both Tuesday and Wednesday. High temperatures in the mid-90s, and then the long-range data shows a real heating trend. I'll have more on that coming up in just a bit. You stay with KTSM 9 News. More coming up.
feet today.
I'm Andy Morgan. You're watching KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
Welcome back, everyone. We have some community events for you, so this one's really cool. The Culinary Arts Department at EPCC, they're presenting Dueling Chefs, featuring Campus Dean Chef Daniel Guerra and Chef Rick Webb. It's taking place next Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Now, this event is in collaboration with the EPCC Foundation, and the money raised will benefit the foundation. Tickets are $125 and include a 3-course dinner at EPCC's 1309 restaurant. The dinner will also feature a social hour, kitchen tours, culinary tasting, and live music. You can purchase your tickets by calling the number you see right there on your screen. Well, with the new school year just around the corner, Idea Public School is hosting 3 back-to-back backpack giveaways. So the first one already took place. It was last Saturday, but it's okay because students and parents can still attend the event at Edgemere Academy this Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. or the one at Mesa Hills Academy on July 26th, also from noon to 2. The first 500 students at each event will receive a backpack filled with supplies. So make sure you're putting this down on your calendar. Okay, I want to talk about this really cool trending story. So a couple of extremely rare items were sold at an auction recently in New York City. A real piece, if you can believe it, of Mars, and the showstopper, a complete dinosaur skeleton. I know we're not in Jurassic Park, but the largest piece of Mars ever found on Earth was just sold for over $5 million at an auction in New York yesterday. The 54-pound rock was discovered in the Sahara Desert in 2023, and its price tag is the most valuable meteorite ever sold. And at the same auction, a rare young dinosaur skeleton brought in more than $30 million in a bidding frenzy. I cannot believe that. How incredible. Guys, well, thank you so much. That does it for us here on KTSM Plus, but don't go anywhere because we still have another half hour of news and weather coming up right after this break.